Hi there, I'm Bonnie McCaffery, and thank you so much for coming back this month for another VidCast. I'm here with Jamie Malden from Colouricious, and she has these wonderful wood block stamps. Is that correct?
Well, they're actually wooden printing blocks. These wooden printing blocks are hand carved in India. They've been printing with block printing techniques for over several hundred years. I don't know the entire history, and it's just a really exciting thing to design your own fabric. So what I like to do is design my own blocks, send them to India, where I have a colleague called Puneet who then organises carpenters to hand carve them.
So they make your own?
They make my own. They don't exist anywhere else in the world. And then I love to do workshops, and I travel extensively showing people how they can use the blocks to design their own fabric. So if they're a quilter or a patchworker or an embroiderer, anything like that, any kind of textile art, people are happy to dye their own fabric. So my point is, finish the fabric by printing it yourself.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do.
You mentioned traveling. You have some tours that you take over to India?
Oh, it's my favourite thing, actually. I love taking people to India to meet the carpenters who make these blocks, show them the block printing story, and show them the factories where they make them. And they're really lovely guys, these people. They've got bills to pay, and so they're really grateful that we go and visit them and appreciate their heritage, basically.
Yeah.
So they are great things. I love it.
What a great trip. India's on my dream list.
Okay, definitely.
Okay, so you're going to show us how you do this.
Okay, so first of all, for instance, here I've got a lovely strip of fabric. I'm going to print this with some textile paint. The secret to success, and this is what people simply never know, and it's the best kept secret ever. It's not even kept, I tell everyone. You need a foam mat. You need something underneath your fabric. Paper or fabric, doesn't matter what you've got, but you must have something with a bit of give. You can use a wad of newspapers, an ironing board, perhaps a towel or something, or a dedicated foam board, but that is the crucial piece of equipment you must have. The other important thing is a sponge. You need to apply the paint with a sponge. Sometimes people say, oh, what about a brayer? I don't know why brayers aren't as efficient as a sponge, but they just aren't.
Okay, so it's just a regular
squishy sponge. So what we've got here is I've put a little squidgen of fabric paint in my tray. Well, I have these dedicated textile paints which are for a professional level.
Okay.
But you can buy so many different types of textile paints. It's magnificent. So you simply dab the paint onto your block, just spread it evenly all over. Just make it, you can tell where it all is.
It has a little glisten.
Exactly. Yeah. And you make sure there's no hairs or stray bits.
They would be like a resist.
Exactly. So you just simply place your wooden printing block in wherever you want it to be. With a larger block, you push down in the middle, and then you just walk your fingers round like this, and you get this most magnificent impression. Look at that.
Oh my gosh,
isn't that gorgeous? And I think obviously with the colours and things, but I really like to play with layering and pattern theory. So I'm going to put another colour in. So we've got a squidgen of a lovely pink here, and a kind of little mini paisley block. So the little ones work exactly the same. You just dab the paint on, and you just press it down.
Oh my gosh, that looks so fast and easy.
It's very easy, and I think you really have to just kind of let go and play and be prepared to just see what happens and just work your way through the fabric. Then I just want to show you one more trick. There's a lot of paint in this sponge. Now, you could wash that down the drain and that would be a waste. So what I do is I had this piece of fabric here was white. So I put this white piece of fabric in a bucket of cold water. And then I put my dirty sponge in the bucket, and the paint in here acts as a dye. So you end up creating these really lovely kind of Colouricious fabrics.
Yeah.
Simply by paint that you would have otherwise wasted. So your fabric paint goes a very long way because you can use it as the dye, but also as the printing agent. And then really something like this, I'm going to, after the show, I'll go home and I'll whip this into a quick quilt, as you do, and they're just absolutely breathtaking. And the thing that I find really exciting is that you've designed it yourself. There's no other fabric like this in the world, and it's just great. So exciting, isn't it?
How many different stamps do you have?
Whoa. If I said 1,000, I might be exact. I honestly believe we're the biggest block printing company in the Western world. I don't know, somebody else might come up and say we are, but I haven't come across anyone else who designs their own blocks, has them handmade specifically, and then literally, I mean, I travel a lot to America with these blocks, do a lot of shows there, fantastic shows, and of course in the UK and in Europe, and people are really waking up to this idea that, hey, I can print my own fabric. And you don't have to dye your own fabric either. You can buy some really nice batik fabrics, things like that. You can just basically use any fabric you like, and just have fun with it and play with it. And, the message is always push the boundaries, see what you can do. Yeah.
So what's been the favorite blocks at the show?
At this particular show, I had these really gorgeous gift boxes because we have these lovely. I had these presented in handmade boxes with lovely Colouricious type papers, and they just went. It's like, whoa,
so
where did they go? Yeah.
But the favorite block, is there a favorite
actual block? My current favourite one is actually this one. The reason I love this is because I'm an embroiderer at heart, and this to me, free machine embroidery, I think you call it free motion stitching.
Free motion, yeah.
You just could go mad. You print that with black, and then you do free motion stitching with a metallic thread. I've got these lovely Wonderfil threads that are just sparkly and gorgeous, and so that is my favourite one at the moment.
And I think my favourite might be that big one over there. Could you bring that in?
I have to tell you a funny story about this. I said to Pinny, I sent him a design, and I said to him, I forgot to give the measurement. So he wrote back and said, what measurement do you want? And I looked and I wrote back and said, oh, about the size of your hand. And then when this block arrived, it was
big hand.
Puneet, how big is your hand? And he said, well, actually in India, that is a hand.
Oh.
So anyway, I've got these rather huge blocks, but I'm not sure if
I
anyone
love them.
I don't know if people would print with them, but I think you could just have a hole in the back and use it as a wall hanging.
I think you're right.
I think they're really stupendous. Right. But anyway, so they're very unique. Let's put it that way.
They are, and they're beautiful.
But the other thing is, even if if you've done your printing your fabric, you can then go and press things like air dry clay into them. You can iron Angelina into them. I have a lot of people who do pottery who like to press it into their clay. So there is 101,000 uses for these wooden printing blocks.
Yeah. Do you have a book?
No.
I think there's not a book coming. You do videos. Well, that's true.
We do videos, and we want to inspire people to be creative, and we try and really sort of inspire people to go out there and try new art techniques, really. Yeah. And it's about having fun, isn't it?
It is about having fun.
We're very privileged, aren't we? We have such a lovely, happy life.
We are. So let me just ask you a question. What's your philosophy of life?
Oh, heavens. It depends what day of the week it is.
Saturday.
Oh, well, today's Saturday.
In Birmingham.
No, actually, the first thing I said to my friend Jyoti this morning is, I feel so happy, I feel so lucky that we live in this wonderful world of textiles, because when you're at a show like this, you feel normal, because, in the everyday world, arty people, they do something arty, that she's creative, there's some sort of we're funny, aren't we? Whereas when you go to textile shows and events like that, everybody's the same, so it's like, oh, we feel normal again.
We are normal.
So I think gratitude is probably the message for every day, is I just feel grateful for my life, and you've got to just make other people's lives happy too, haven't you?
I love that. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this with me. This was really great to see how to use these wooden blocks.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I really want you to go forth and block print and have a great time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Forth and block print. Thank you all for being with me, and I hope you'll come back next month to see what I have for you then. Thanks for being with me.